So I'm sure all of you have written essays before, but I'm not sure how many of you have written scientific essays before. So today we'll be going over how to find peer-reviewed primary literature sources. Primary sources are a research article written by a person who did the research and is only reliable if the article was peer-reviewed. So a peer review process is sending in your article to other colleagues in the field where they'll take it apart and make sure everything is factual so that everything published, hopefully, is true and sourced, peer reviewed. So what is a primary source? Or how do you recognize it? So generally they're published in scientific journals that serve to present science and not make money via advertising, so there'll be no advertising. They're typically 2 to 15 pages long. They include a methods section, they include new results, and they include at least one figure or table. And there's often, if there's a journal number with a long established number, they'll be peer reviewed, and the authors are typically affiliated with the university. So is this one peer reviewed? No. The publisher of this one is Lake Forest College, and colleges' publications like these are not peer-reviewed. How about this one? Is this one peer-reviewed? Yes, this one is peer-reviewed. It's a critical review, and those are very often peer-reviewed. Yeah. So, how do you find these peer-reviewed sources? Obviously, if you find a source that's paid for, do not pay for a source. You can find it some other way. Use Google Scholar, use JSTOR, use ISPO-Host databases, use ResearchGate, and use Interlibrary Loan. The last four of those, you could actually go through Louisiana Tech Services to use. So for the Interlibrary Loan, that's very, very useful because if our personal Prescott Memorial Library does not have the article you need, they can interlibrary loan it from a different university. So when using Google Scholar, look for a PDF link on the right of the article, as shown by that red arrow, and use unpaywall.org, which is a database of articles not behind a paywall. Anybody can post anything on the internet, so not everything is credible. And there's also some journals that aren't as credible as others. So just make sure whatever you're looking at, blogs are not credible. Look for peer-reviewed sources and make sure to read through it to make sure it's credible. So how to search? Use specific language. So if searching for a topic of food consumption and locating food, foraging. If you aren't familiar with the term, look it up on general sites like Wikipedia first and then use that in your specific language to search. If the results are too specific, look at the citations within that paper, and if they're too general, look at the paper that cited the paper. So this search term foraging is probably way too broad, right? So to get more specific, you can also click on cited by 4158 link to find more specific papers. And then ecology foraging patch would be a little bit too specific. Yeah. So how to select articles. So sort your results by relevance. Scan or read the titles and abstracts in your results. And the article selected should provide rationale for hypothesis, provide supporting evidence for relevant background material, provide supporting evidence for specific results, and provide alternative hypothesis for specific results. Make sure you read your articles. Reading the abstract is not enough. Whenever you select an article, read the whole article through. But use the abstract to determine if it's relevant to read. So then you read the introduction and the discussion to get to the meat of the paper to understand how to cite it. If you understand the paper, paraphrasing it is much easier, and you have no problem avoiding plagiarism. So a little note, in your handout from Lab 1, there's a number of classic citations on optimal foraging theory. You should use at least some of these in your paper. For this assignment, choose additional citations other than the ones on your lab modules or handouts.